So what should be in the written contract? Well, a clear description of all obligations between the parties, including the specific description of the products or services to be provided, and all deadlines for delivery of the products or services. You want a description of the payment terms. What triggers payment obligation? Is when the product's delivered, and Dan, in your case, is it when the driveway's finished? Is it half down up front, half down at the end? When are they due? Are they due within 5 days after you complete it? And what happens if payment is late? Is there a late fee? What's the triggering obligation? And how are payments made? Do you want it by check? Do you want it by cash? Do you want it by money transfer? I mean, if it's a large amount, obviously you're going to want to say, we want it by cashier's check or something to that effect. And who are the payments to be made to? This is important that, again, you guys don't want the payments to be, if you're a corporation, to you personally, because that creates some problems with your corporate veil. You need to make sure that the payments are made to your corporation in your corporation's name. And where are payments to be sent? You want a description of the duration of the contract. Is it a month-to-month contract? Is it a year-long contract? Is it 6 months? And is the contract complete on delivery of the services? Or does the contract continue on? And is it renewable? And how is it renewed? There's a lot of contracts that are out there, especially leases, that you actually have to give 60-day notice that you want to continue to extend your lease. Or you have to give 60-day notice that you want to terminate your lease. Okay, otherwise you're up for another year. You need to make sure that you know your renewing provisions on your contracts. How are contracts terminated, and for what reasons? Can the contract be terminated for any reason, or just upon a good cause? And good cause should be defined in that contract and what that means, right? How much notice is required to terminate a contract? Can you do it immediately if there's good cause? Can it be cured? Is there a default time period? And how is notice of termination required to be provided? Certified mail, fax, email, personal service, telephone call? And does your contract include a deadlock provision? Essentially meaning that if you have partners, okay, you have 50-50, and you guys can't come to an agreement on something, can you trigger it so there has to be a sale of one of the, or the other person's share or interest in the company? Insurance provisions. Is insurance necessary or required? What are the risks? You got to determine what are the risks associated with the contract, obviously. And who is going to be paying for those risks? Are the risks equal for all parties? Governing law provisions, we talked about this. What is the jurisdiction law control? Is it Minnesota or another state? You need to make sure that you know what jurisdiction controls. Where is the lawsuit brought? How is it brought? Is it district court, arbitration, mediation? There are some contracts out there that say that you have to go to mediation first. Okay. What should be in a written contract? Going on, warranties and guarantee provisions. Going back to Dan, you guys guarantee your driveways for so long, right? And you put in that agreement that they have to do certain things to guarantee the driveways, right? Continuing seal coat every other year, that type of thing, right? And you also have to figure out, are your goods and services guaranteed to be delivered within a certain period of time? What happens if the products and services are not delivered within a certain period of time? Is there a price reduction? Is there a full refund? Or are there some kind of described damages? You know, a lot of times, especially contractors, you guys have the obligation to make sure that you get things done within a certain period of time. And if you don't, then there's other things that may happen. And your subs, you need to make sure that you, or I suggest that you have some kind of agreement in there to say if they don't do it within a certain period of time, there are consequences to their non-performance. And this applies, I think, across the board. I mean, you guys being the graphic design, but it's the same type of thing. If you guys are subbing something out and you want somebody to do something within a certain period of time, because you guys are under time constraints getting things done. And strongly worded warranty provisions will motivate better performance and protect the purchasing party if the performance is substandard. Intellectual property provisions, I mean, if you guys are in a, going back to you guys again, in your business, you guys are creating things. Who has the intellectual rights to that property, you know, as you're creating your logos and creating whatever you're creating? And it goes back for manufacturing businesses and those type of things. If you guys are creating another way to be more efficient, you know, Dave, in your business, okay, if you're creating some way to be efficient, some kind of computer or whatever it is, you want that intellectual property to be yours. It doesn't employees, it's yours. You want to specifically spell that out. Independent contractor provisions. Now, Minnesota hates independent contractor, just so you guys know that. And they're trying to make everybody an employee, period. You can be a business owner, hated, or an employee. You're not going to be an independent contractor. It's just not going to happen. But if someone is an independent contractor, you need to make sure you spell out that they are an independent contractor and the reasons that they're an independent contractor. Because independent contractors there's a whole series of things, and unfortunately I don't have it here, that was my other presentation I did. But there's a whole series of things, and actually it might be in the handouts I gave today, I'm not sure. But there are certain things that have to be complied with, and they have to more or less control the means and the mode of performance. You can't be able to dictate and say you have to be here 8 to 5, you have to do X, Y, and Z, you have to provide the tools and all those things. At that point, they become an employee in the state, and the feds will see them as an employee. And there are consequences for doing that. All right? Personal guarantee provisions, we talked a little bit about that. And then it's really important to attach any other documents that refer to your contract. A lot of times what you do is you say, see Exhibit A for a personal property list or a list of assets that are being sold or something that's related to it. Okay? And then a provision describing how the agreement can be signed. Does it have to be an original agreement? Does everybody have to sign the same agreement? Can it be done by email? Can it be done by fax? There's going to be multiple copies. And I'm done. You guys survived it.